Hello everyone, my name is Shweta and today we are going to discuss about the number of rebel groups that are operating across the world. The entry of Houthi rebels into the Israel-Palestine conflict has even heightened this issue and led us to think that how the problems created by rebel groups are affecting the government and affecting the citizens as well. So the operation of rebel groups have been creating problems of armed conflict across the world. We have seen the problems created by the Rohingya insurgents in Myanmar, right? We have seen problems in the Ethiopia and Sudan regarding the civil war. In the areas such as Mexico, we have seen the drug cartels, they are creating problems. So in such a scenario, it becomes difficult for government to operate and citizens also to live in peaceful manner. But whenever such armed conflicts are seen, we see that different words are used for different groups. For example, some groups are called rebels, some are called terrorists, and there can be other groups such as separatist. So why are such different words used for different groups? They are rather used interchangeably, but there are some distinctions that we should look at with regard to operation of these groups. So the first, we should look at the rebel groups. The rebel groups, they are typically the non-state armed organizations which seek to challenge the established authority in a specific region. Their aim is to overthrow the government or achieve a power sharing agreement through armed resistance. So armed resistance is the main means of operation and their aim is to challenge the established authority. Apart from it, another group is the terrorist groups. Terrorist groups deliberately use violence to instill a fear in the minds of people and to obtain ideological and political gains from the government. Terrorism particularly should be seen as a tactic rather than an aim, because many groups, they can involve in terrorist activities to ask for gains from the established authorities, right? The rebel groups can even involve in the terrorist activities and they can blur the definition also. Apart from terrorism, there's another group, the separatist group we can say. As the name suggests, their main aim is gaining autonomy for a specific region or a specific community from the particular region, right? But generally, they are not violent by their own manner, such as the terrorist group. They may pursue their goals through peaceful manner, through negotiations even. So I tried to distinct these terms based on different manners. However, it should be noted that such terms, they are not mutually exclusive. These are based on the interpretation of different governments, international organizations, and the scholars who are studying these subjects. So with such distinction, we can now understand the rebel groups across the world. So we'll start with rebel groups. All these rebel groups would be included in this video and we'll try to see what are the different causes and motivations behind such acts and the areas in which they are basically based in. So this brings us to our first rebel group, which is the Houthis. Houthis are also known as Ansar Allah or the supporters of the God. They are based in mainly Yemen area. So we'll try to locate Yemen on a world map. Yemen is a country in the Middle Eastern region. It opens up to Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea as well. Red Sea and the Arabian Sea as well. It borders Saudi Arabia and Oman on the Middle Eastern side. The group, it derives its name from its founder who was killed in 2004 in the conflict with the Yemeni government. The movement, initially, it started from the northern parts of Yemen and since then it has been able to expand its influence. This group, it gained even more prominence when it was able to capture the Yemeni capital Sana'a and later force the president to go into exile. Initially, it was started in response to the perceived discrimination and the government neglect that has been faced by the Zaidi Shia community in Yemen. So initially it started as a movement for the people. Now it has turned into a militant organization and because of that, a protracted civil war in Yemen has also been started. Next term or the next rebel group that we're going to discuss is Hezbollah. It has also been in news because of its attack on Israel in the current Israel-Palestine conflict as well. It also means the Party of the God, and it's an organization based mainly in Lebanon. So we'll locate Lebanon on a world map. It's a country in the Middle East. It opens up to Mediterranean Sea, right? It borders Israel and Syria as well. So you can see the northern Israel is the region where the Lebanese forces, they are acting upon Israel's interest. The group, it has expanded its influence to areas of Syria, to northern Israel as well. Initially, it was started as a response to the Israeli invasion of Lebanon in 1980s. So it started initially as against the Israeli forces and their proxy militia, which was operating in Lebanon. But now it has evolved into a multifaceted organization. It has established its military wing, its political faction is also there. And the Hezbollah military wing, it is particularly known as one of the most well-equipped armed group for non-state actor across the world. It has a significant arsenal of missiles, which makes it even powerful in the region. So we should look about our third rebel group, which is Hamas. Hamas is a Palestinian militant organization or a nationalist organization. So Palestine is the territory it is based on. We look at the territory. So Palestine is a country in the Middle Eastern part, located on the eastern sides of the Mediterranean Sea. It is bordered by Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Israel. Palestine has included of two territories, West Bank and the Gaza Strip. So the presence of Hamas, it is mainly in the area of Gaza Strip. So this is the area which Hamas has established its control and from where it makes its operation. Hamas initially, it started in 1987 during the first Palestinian uprising, which was against the Israeli occupation. After that, it evolved into a political organization. It won the 2006 elections that were conducted in Palestine. And since then, it has emerged as a de facto governing power in Gaza Strip. It has also created a social wing, Dawa, and a militant wing, which is known as the Qassam Brigade. This organization is considered a terrorist organization by many countries, but some other countries consider its military wing only as a terrorist organization. So it refers to the perspective of different people and international organizations what the group is going to categorize into. Next term is ISIS, the Islamic State for Iraq and Syria, and as officially called the Islamic State. It is also known by its Arabic acronym Daesh. It gained global notoriety in 2010, but the major area which was based it is in Iraq and Syria. So we'll look at their location. Iraq, it is bordered by Iran, Turkey as the name has now been referred to. Then Syria, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, it opens up to Persian Gulf. And then Syria, which is bordered by Iraq, Saudi, Jordan, Lebanon and Turkey. So both these countries, they are present in a close proximity. We have seen that this group also, it gained global prominence when in 2014, it was able to capture large part of Iraq territory, such as important cities of Mosul, and it was also involved in the Sinjar massacre. It initially started as an offshoot of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. In 2014, after capturing such territories, it also self-proclaimed a caliphate and imposed a stricter form of Islam into this region. So since then, ISIS has been expanding its influence in different areas and imposing restrictive practices for the civil population. The next organization that we look at is Al-Qaeda. It's a transnational extremist organization involved in global terrorism. So its expanse is to such an extent that all the global horizons have been touched by its attacks. The name translates to the base in Arabic, and we should look at some of the bases that Al-Qaeda has been formed in different areas. The core of Al-Qaeda started from Afghanistan after the withdrawal of Soviet Union in 1980s. But many affiliates are being present in different regions. For example, Al-Qaeda in Iraq is there, Al-Qaeda in Arabian Peninsula, in Islamic Maghreb, Al-Shabaab in South Africa. So all these are affiliates of Al-Qaeda, which has led to expansion of its influence. And there are significant allies across the world, which are also impacting the growth of different regions. So Al-Qaeda's influence, if we can see, in the recent few decades, in the Middle Eastern region, in the Northern African region, it has increased, but in different regions such as Somalia, Yemen, or Indonesian region, its influence has also decreased. It originally started off during the Afghan war against the Soviet occupation in 1980s. Initially, it marked as a movement of Arabs and foreign fighters across the world, which moved on to Afghanistan to help the Mujahideens against the Soviet occupation. But after that, it espouses an extremist ideology that believes in the violent war or jihad, the holy war, which sees that all those people who are against Islam are their enemies. So this group particularly, it has an ideology which is anti-Western, anti-Israeli, and pro-Islamic movement. So it has been a very important rebel group or considered terrorist organization by many countries throughout the world. The Kurdistan Workers' Party, it is a militant political organization based in Turkey and Iraq. The positioning of Iraq we just saw in some of the previous rebel group. Now we look at the position of the Turkey on the world map. So it's also located near the Middle Eastern region, the Central Asian region, and it expands to the two continents, Asia and Europe as well. It opens up to Mediterranean Sea as well as the Black Sea. Bordered by Syria, Iraq, Iran, Armenia and Georgia on the Asian side, and Bulgaria and Greece on the European side. So it has a vast expanse. Initially, it was restricted to few parts of Turkey only, but now the expanse of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, it has expanded onto areas of Turkey, then Syria, and then Iraq as well. The Kurdistan Workers' Party, or also known as the PKK, it has been involved into the Kurdish-Turkish conflict since a very long time. The Kurdish-Turkish conflict is about the Kurdish people who are present in Turkey region. They argue that their rights have been suppressed by the Turkish government. They were not being able to wear their dresses or celebrate their fairs because the Turkish government did not allow them. The Turkish government even referred to them as the mountain Kurds, which restricted their ethnicity and their identity. So this movement, it demands more autonomy and rights for Kurdish people in the Turkish territory. So this is about the Kurdistan Workers' Party. All these organizations that we discussed till now, they are mainly based in the Middle Eastern region. And now we'll discuss some of the organizations from the Central Asian region. So the Taliban is one of the important rebel group that we see. So it has originated in Afghanistan during early 1990s. We look at the position of Afghanistan on a world map. It's a landlocked country in the Southern Asian region, bordered by Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, and Iran. Afghanistan, it faces has faced a number of great power plays since the time of Cold War, and this has led to many wars fought in this region. But after the Soviet withdrew from the region, Afghan civil war has started, and in that backdrop, Taliban also gained ground in that area. In 1990s particularly, this group came to prominence when in that time it captured the capital of Afghanistan, Kabul, and made huge inroads into that area. It imposed its Islamic interpretation of the law. It engaged into many Heinous activities such as mass killings and enslavements, repression of women's rights were seen during that time. And after the war on terror was started by United States, Taliban was major focus of that initiative. But after the withdrawal of United States and the NATO forces from the Afghanistan region, in 2020-21, Taliban has taken control over whole of Afghanistan. The Afghan government had fallen and Taliban emerged as a significant player in Afghanistan. So the issue of Taliban has now become very prominent in Afghanistan in recent times and has created implications for regional and global security as well. Next, we look at the Turkestan Islamic Party. It is a militant organization founded in Western China. So the region which it seeks to represent, this is China, and particularly this region is the home of Turkestan Islamic Party. This region represents the dominance of the Uyghur people. They are a Muslim community which is in minority in China. So the Uyghur independence movement, it generally wants to seek independence from this Xinjiang region, which is an autonomous region of China. They want independence from Xinjiang, and in that place, they have proposed that this region should be called as East Turkestan. So they want to create a homeland for them in the Xinjiang autonomous region, but their demand has still not been met, and the Chinese population, it has been involved in oppressive practices against the Uyghur people, so their cause has still not been met. Next party, the rebel group is Boko Haram. This brings us to the area of Africa. So it's a terrorist organization based in northeastern Nigeria. We should look at the position of Nigeria on a map. This is a country in the western South African region. It is bordered by Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin also. These are also the region which are affected by the practices of Boko Haram. So Boko Haram in Nigeria particularly, it has been making many attacks on the northeastern side. It initially originated with their goal of purification, which meant to spread the Sunni Islam through diverse areas. But their goal, it was later changed. They argued that the jihad or the violent war for spreading Islam, it can be delayed till the group is able to defeat and overthrow the Nigerian government. So since then, they have been making attacks on Nigerian government and civilians as well. As one time, the Global Terrorism Index, it also referred to Boko Haram as the world's deadliest organization operating across the world and harming the rights of its citizens. Apart from this, another rebel group in South Africa, it is based in Somalia. So Somalian location, it is present in Eastern Africa, or particularly called the Horn of Africa, bordered by Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea and Kenya. This group, it has been involved in the ongoing Somali civil war as well. It initially began in 2000s, but emerged to prominence in the Somali civil war, which was created and conducted during 2006 to 2009. During that time, it presented itself as a major vehicle for armed resistance against the Ethiopian army. And since then time, it has been able to incorporate the elements of Somali nationalism into their Islamic cause. Al-Shabaab has also gained international prominence because of its recruitment of foreign fighters. And most of them, they are from Western countries. So Al-Shabaab is the greatest issue in the Western countries regarding to the rebel groups. Now we come to Jemaah Islamiyah. This brought us to the area of the Southeastern Asia. So this is a militant group based particularly in Indonesia. So we look at positioning of Indonesia. Indonesia country in the Southeast Asian region bordered by Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore. So this movement, it initially started with the roots in the anti-colonial movement that took place in Indonesia in 1940s. But after that, this group, for its purpose, it has divided the Southeast Asian country of Indonesia into different zones. For example, or zones can be called as Mentiki also. The first Mentiki, the Malaysia, Singapore, it was considered importance for funding activity. The Philippines, Mantiki, it was there for the training purpose. And Indonesia, the Mantiki, it was used for its operation purpose. So this is how the Jamia Islamia group has operated in Indonesia. One of its major attack was the Bali killings. Since then, the government has been able to crack down upon it to a greater extent, but the presence still haunts the people even today. So that's all about the rebel groups that I discussed with you in the today's video. We covered different areas, initially with the Middle East, then Central Asian region, then the African region, the Southeast Asian region we also considered. So discussing about all these regions, don't you think that there would be presence of multiple groups in South Asian region as well? What do you think about the groups such as the Baloch separatists in Pakistan, such as Naxalites in India, the Rohingya insurgents in Myanmar, or even the Maoist insurgents in Nepal? See, while I discussed about all of these groups, they represent just a few of the numerous groups operating across the world. The groups that I mentioned just now in South Asia, they are not so much vast in terms of their operation and influence as compared to these groups. That is why I restricted myself to these major groups that are operating across the world and harming the lives of citizens to a great extent. While we looked at this video, we saw that there are different causes and motivations behind different terror groups that are operating or rebel groups that are present across the world. So our approach in dealing with them should also be tailor-based with respect to specific rebel group and also the situation which is present on the ground. So the key to the effective resolution of this topic, it could be in combining the diplomatic, the humanitarian efforts, and also addressing the underlying cause of this conflict. So that is all for today that I wanted to discuss in this video. And thank you so much for listening.